welcome to TWF Collision or Hit. I, Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross, and Montel Vertadius Porter here. And today on Collision or Hit, we have a good show here today, and I would think so myself. Well, you're right about that, Tony Schiavone. We do got a good show here today. We do got a good show here today on Collision or Hit. You know, hopefully it will be a good show. I tell you one thing right now, Tony and Jim, it's going to be a good show, Montel Vertadius Porter says. But I'm not going to let you know why I think it's going to be a good show. You know, but it will be a good show. And here comes Drew McIntyre now, so you know it's going to be a good show, Montel Vertadius Porter says. Shit. I am not in a bloody good mood. First off, I want to prolong my war. You know, prolong my war, you know, with that flight of shit, God Jorah, King of the Fiends, Kaiser of the Fiends. He seems to think that he's so greater than me. And there's so many folks who have fucked with me over the years. Either it's CM Punk fucking with me in WWE, or it was Jason Uso about 3 years ago when he was in a Bloodway fucking with me, or Cody Rhodes for bringing Jason Uso from SmackDown to Raw, or Kevin Owens for whatever God's sake or one. So, you want to bring an end to this bloody pea-brain deadweight, Lindworm, whatever you are? Shit. And I hope if someone hits me and knocks me over one more time, we're going to have a bind. Yeah. Alright, I've heard enough. Alright, God Jorah says, we know that you don't like me, I don't like you. But I don't have, you know, anything against you. But you, sadly, Drew McIntyre, seem to have something against me. I don't know. Either you think that somehow I'm answerable for you not becoming a three-time TWF heavyweight fighter and a one-time world heavyweight fighter. You seem to think that somehow me being in a toy wrestling gathering since between 98 YL, and somehow you think I can't help that. Look, Drew, I had nothing to do with you. I had nothing to do with you losing the TWF heavyweight winnings the first time, winning it for the 2 different times, and then losing it again. Just like you can't guilt me for what belts you should have won, what straps you won and didn't win, what matches you won and didn't win. You know what I guilt you on? Because you're the one that was booking it. You were the one that was writing it. Yeah, at first you made me look good when you made me win the TWF heavyweight winnings back in 2020 YL when COVID was going all over the world. Then you made me lose it only to have me win it again, but not hold it as long as I did the first time. And you have fucked me over every time since then. Do you truly believe that you truly think I got something against you? I don't, Drew McIntyre, Drew Galloway, or whatever you're calling yourself. I think you're one of the greatest skilled wrestlers to ever come from Highland. You know? And there's not really too many skilled wrestlers that are as good as you are and came from Highland, which I guess is what? Still a slight of the 4-1 Kingdom, I guess? But anyway, at the end of the day, you want to start this with me? Yeah, because I know your bloody tail's gonna come off. Yeah, and you told everybody how funny that was that someone from Playmates made a mistake with that one. And my tail broke off. And now for some time, I had to have film holding my tail instead. So, yeah, let's do it. And guess what, Godzilla? I'm going to shame you. You may be a winner in your Warner Brother films, in your Toho films. You may have been a winner in your Toho films and Sony films and Warner Brother films, but not mine. Oh, so, yeah, well, I didn't win all the time in my films, Drew McIntyre. I lost to King Kong, or most likely they may both fall in the water, but I lost to him. Then I lost to Mothra the first time I fought her. Lost to Mothra again the next time I fought her. So yeah, I didn't win all the matches. No, I did not win all my fights or all my matches. But if you want to start something with me, hey, why don't I just end it for you? Ding, ding, ding. Well, looks like we got a match going. Oh! And Godzilla just hit Drew McIntyre with his tail and then a body slam, Tony Schiavone says. Jim Ross said if the TWF has a Hall of Honor look, Godzilla would be in it. Godzilla's done everything he could do. He's won almost every winnings there is to win here in the Toy Wrestling Gathering, Jim Ross says. Are you kidding me? Godzilla's been here since between 98 YL. He's won every strap there is to win. He's still being booked on shows years later, Montel Arcadius Porter says. You think he would ever put someone over clean or just buried him? Oh, and Godzilla hit him with his tail again, Montel Arcadius Porter says. Godzilla right now is stomping a mud hole in Drew McIntyre's wear and cleaning it and stomping it dry. He got his tail caught in the rope. Tony Schiavone said. Drew McIntyre just saw the opening he went for, and then he went for a Claymore kick. Really, more likely knocks Godzilla on his side, Tony Schiavone says. Jim Ross says the dead weight, the Lindworm, whatever Godzilla is, just guns up, oh! And the tail just knocked down, Godzilla knocked down the Fight Lord for his tail by mishap, Jim Ross said. Yeah, that's always going to be Godzilla. He's like Magellan from Eureka Stronghold. The tail's got a mind of its own, Montel Arcadius Porter said. And it's going to, get him in a bind. Yeah, I guess R.L. Stein strikes again, right? Tony Schiavone said. A Claymore kick. The Future Shot DDT, whatever that stands for, Tony Schiavone says. I don't know, Jim Ross says, what DDT stands for, but all we play callers call it that, Jim Ross said. Yay, Montel Arcadius Porter says. For once, Drew McIntyre will beat Godzilla, Tony and Jim. What do you think about that? I think that would be shameful, Tony Schiavone said. Not to show any honor to the King of the Fiends or the Kaiser of the Fiends, Tony Schiavone says. Jim Ross said this is going to be sad. 1, 2, 3. Ding ding ding. Here is your winner, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has beat Godzilla, or Godzilla, whatever you want to call him. We'll call him Godzilla. Here today on Collision or Hit. He has beat the King of the Fiends, or the Kaiser of the Fiends, Tony Schiavone says. And you think Drew McIntyre will be happy over that, Tony Schiavone says. But most likely not. To beat Godzilla or Godzilla, Jim Ross said, is like getting a win over Steve Austin when he was on top of the WWF at the time. Now between 96 YL, to 2003 YL when he was on top as a main star, it was unheard of. So if you got a win over Steve Austin, it was a big thing, Jim Ross said. Well, Montel Arcadius Porter says Godzilla has been in almost every film. He's had many films. made by Toho, Sony, Warner Brothers, and he's got, all of that. But somehow, some way, he still didn't put someone over. Montel Ricades Porter said, "Did you not watch the match we saw?" Tony Schiavone says, "I think Godjora put over Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre beat the King of the Fiends." Yes, he did. Drew McIntyre beat the Kaiser of the Fiends here today on Collision or Hit, and I think that was putting someone over. Jim Ross said, "Now stand by is Gorilla Monsoon." Thank you, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. I'm going to be talking with Drew McIntyre today on Collision or Hit. First off, Drew McIntyre, you got a win over Godjora. You think you would have been happy. Oh, don't tell me, Gorilla Monsoon, what I should or should not be happy about. We all know that you never won you didn't really win any WWF, you didn't win anything when you started out in the CWC, the WWF and WWF though, and the only thing you were kind of well known for was being that play-by-play caller. Give me a break. Before I became a play-by-play caller, before I became a showrunner, and before I became a booker, I was formerly a wrestler. I wrestled as a beginner wrestler, became a skilled wrestler. And Drew McIntyre, you should be lucky and happy that you got your win over Godzilla or Godjora, because that doesn't happen. Yeah, well, I just showed everyone that Godjora is not unbeatable, unstoppable, and unyieldable. You've seen how I Claymore kicked him, how I DDT'd him. Yeah, I saw that. And yes, you did win, you did beat Godjora. But does this mean you should be happy over it? Hell no, because I'm still not the TWF heavyweight fighter for the 3rd time. I am not the world heavyweight fighter for the 1st time. And until I win that back, I am not going to be bloody happy. Or bloody lucky, Gorilla Monsoon. What kind of ring name is that? Drew McIntyre. That'd be like me asking you what kind of ring name is Drew McIntyre. What kind of ring name is Drew Galloway? Alright? You give me some onlook. Why should I give you onlook for? Onlook goes a long way in the skilled wrestling business. Yeah, but I guess no one ever fucked with you. Yeah, I had Bobby Heenan fuck with me starting from 9 between 84 YL to 9 between 93 YL. So don't tell me I didn't have folks that I had dealings with. Alright. Now's my talk with Drew McIntyre, or Drew Galloway, whatever you want to call him. We'll call him Drew McIntyre. Back to you, Mike, today, back to you, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. Well, thank you, Gorilla Monsoon, for talking with Drew McIntyre here today on Collision or Hit. And that's all the time we got here. I, Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross, and Montel Ricades Porter. We hope you like Collision or Hit, and we'll see you tomorrow for Monday Night Raw, or Alone Day Night Raw.